Hello everyone, my name is Putri Aufa Zada and my student number is 24020400071. So in this video, I would like to briefly explain in my own words what the core of language assessment and why it is important for teacher. So everyone, in my opinion, the core of language assessment is finding out how learners can use and understand a language based on clear and appropriate criteria. So I think language assessment it is not simply about giving students a test and then giving them a score, but more than that, language assessment is also about collecting information about students' language abilities, understanding their progress, and using the results to support the learning process at a class. For example, when a teacher assesses students' speaking skills, the teacher should not only look at whether the students can memorize vocabulary, but the assessment should show whether they can actually communicate their ideas clearly, use appropriate vocabulary and grammar, and interact with others. So that's why the assessment needs to match what we actually want to measure. So everyone, the next is there are several important principles in language assessment, and the first one is validity. Validity means that an assessment should actually measure what it is intended to measure. For example, if we want to assess speaking ability, the assessment should give students an opportunity to speak rather than only asking them to answer multiple choice questions about grammar. And then the second is reliability. So for me, reliability means that the assessment results should not be consistent and no. So I mean reliability means that the assessment results should be consistent and dependable. So I think in other words, the result should not change too much simply because of unclear instructions, inconsistent scoring, or other factors that are not related to the student's actual ability. And then the last principle is washback. So washback refers to the effect that assessment has on teaching and learning. So I think assessment can have positive flashback when it encourages students to practice useful language skills and help teachers improve their teaching. But however, if an assessment only focuses on memorizing answers, students may focus more on passing the test than actually developing their language skills. So and then, why is language assessment important for teacher and for students? So I think for teacher, it can help teachers understand students' strengths and weaknesses and then monitor students' progress and decide what they need to learn in the next meeting. And then for students, assessment can also help them recognize their abilities and areas that they still need to improve. So that's all from me, I think, and thank you.